Would you be mine? Would you be mine? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? The Dreadhead Cowboy. Giving y'all a little introduction about who I am and what I'm about. Okay. For a lot of people that don't know who I am, my name is Adam Hollingsworth, also known as the Dreadhead Cowboy. I started being known as a person who rides his horse around the city of Chicago, basically to show the kids something different in the community. I decided to ride my horse in Chicago because me growing up, I'd never been around a horse. I never even seen a real live horse in person till 4 years ago, and I'm 33 right now. Been on top of it. That was the first time I was ever on top of a horse, yet alone been around it. So it actually had me feeling like I never had this feeling before. So I always told myself I'm gonna own a horse. But when I was saying it, I was just saying it just to be talking. 2 years later, my uncle gave me an opportunity to own my first horse. 2 years later, he sold me my first horse at a reasonable price. I never even rode a horse before. I've been on top of it, but I owned my first horse and never rode it. So I bought the horse and never been on it. So I had went out there and started spending time with my horse, started bonding with my horse, going out there brushing the hair, combing the hair, making sure my horse fed. Like, it was to the point that every time I went out there, my horse would know who I am. So I couldn't think of a name for my horse at the time. So I think I had about 30 names. I know I came up with Chanel. I came up with all type of names, but you know, it takes a minute to think of that perfect name for whatever you're trying to name. So I decided to call my first horse Wi-Fi because I feel like we had connection. So as I been out there, come out there every day, like I only had to come out there 3 times a week, but I was out there every day because I like, it was something that I'm not used to, or something I was trying to, like, I'm an animal loving person. To be around a horse, to own a horse, it was like, it brought a different side of me out that me being around her wasn't good enough. So I stayed around my horse a lot. I even bought an RV just so I can stay out there, so I could be close to my horse and park my RV on my uncle's property, so I could be able to spend time with my horse all the time. And it was away from the city. So it was something that brought me a peace of mind when I'm away from the city. So I had never rode the horse before. I bought the horse last year, 2019. I want to say January 2019. And I never rode the horse before. I always YouTube horses. I was YouTubing, knowing, imagine I still haven't rode the horse. So I want to say the first time I actually rode the horse, and it wasn't even Wi-Fi. It was my second horse I had bought. It was Remy, and I had rode the first time I ever rode in Chicago. Was the first time I ever came to Chicago with a high noon ride with the Black Cowboys. They had an event going on. I'll tell y'all more about them as y'all follow me. So imagine I said the Black Cowboy, but I'll tell you more about that because it get interesting. It get interesting, y'all. So stay following me. But the high noon ride with the Black Cowboy, me and my uncle came. I didn't have a truck, a trailer. Only thing I had was a horse. So I was on somebody else's time when I brought my horse out. So we brought my horse to the city. To the city to Washington Park at the high noon ride. And when I got there, it was all type of horses out there, a lot of cowboys out there, and me, I still was riding around. Well, I didn't have a cowboy hat. I had a fitted cap. You know, I was from the hood, so I kept it hood. Like I kept the fitted cap on my head. So I asked my uncle, can I ride to my neighborhood? Can I ride to the neighborhood? He like, that's your horse. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your horse, cause it's still in disbelief that I own this horse. So he like, it's your horse, so you don't have to ask me. But mind you, be mindful that you didn't ride out here on your own. You ain't got no trailer, you ain't got no truck, so you on somebody else's time. So go ask them how long until they leave. Until they leave, then, and then you can go if they ain't gonna leave no time soon. So I go holler at the guy. He told me that he gonna be gone in a minute, like in the next 30 minutes to an hour. So don't be long. He really didn't want me to go. That's the thing about control. They control. A lot of people control. It's a thing called control, and basically, that's what I realized about the Black Cowboy. They want to control things. They don't want people to outdo them. They want to feel like they're in control 360 all the time. The Black Cowboys. He said, "Don't be gone long." He's like, "I'm finna get to go within an hour and a half," which I know that was a lie because we just got there. So I took the chance. I'm like, I'm finna just go. And as soon as he called me, just come right back. So I'm like, I'm 15 minutes away from my block. So I'm just gonna ride my horse to my block and ride right back. So I ride my horse. It normally take 15 minutes for me to get from my where we live to my block, the neighborhood I grew up in. And it took me like 2 hours and a half just to get there to my block. Due to the fact I kept on getting stopped, left to right. Like, people ask me all type of questions, like, you don't even understand the feeling that to see a horse in a neighborhood, in a hood that you grew up in, like, of course I'm going to stop. I'm not going to keep walking because there's people out here curious just like I am. So, when I finally made it to my block, my neighborhood I grew up in, it wasn't nobody out there. It was nobody at all. So, I promise you, I was there for like 5 minutes. When I say my block was empty, and 5 minutes later, it was like around 100 people out there. Like people I hadn't seen in years came around when I brought the horse out, and it was just like the feeling that knowing that I had this horse. And listen, like on my block, they didn't have fancy cars, motorcycle, tricycle, slingshot, fancy cars. They didn't have fancy cars. Like, had everything. When I say everything, but I shut the block down by pulling up on a horse. Nobody haven't outdid that. When I say I was feeling like the man when I came out, I was feeling like the man when I walked through. So, it was a good feeling. All the kids was out there, like they were scared, but anxious to touch the horse because they never knew anything about a horse. Like, this horse is so big, and it's so innocent. So harmless. Like, it brings the kid out of a person. So I was over there for like an hour. I get a call saying that it's time for me to go back. Long story short, it took a long time to get back. The dude wound up actually leaving me. So, but he came back. Well, he left, but he didn't go too far. So when I got back to, well, he had met me on Cottage Road somewhere, and he was real mad at me because I rode off. Like a lot of people, they don't. If they ain't doing it, they don't want nobody else to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't cool. I'm not like that. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. At first, when I was first coming out riding my horse, I liked the feeling. It was attention. I love the attention that I was getting from riding a horse in the city. But it went from that to me doing it for the kids. It went from that to me doing it for the kids. And hold on real quick. Okay, it went from that from me doing it for the kids. So I went from like it was a selfish reason. It was a selfish reason, but it went from that to me doing it for the kids, me doing it for the community. Like it took time for me to find myself, and I feel like this horse actually helped me find myself. It changed me for the better. And a lot of the people don't even understand from growing up from the hood to where I'm at right now. I achieved a lot within a year since I've been riding. I've been riding since last year, 2019, and this 2020 right now. And I've been through all type of stuff. When I say I done achieved a lot of stuff, like, do y'all know what this is? The top 20 Chicagoan, and I ranked in the top 20 inspirational person in Chicago. Y'all don't know how much that means to me. It means a whole lot. And this, like, it's a big thing to me just to be ranked in the top 20. I got my own article. These are the people that have been ranked in the top 20. And that go me. The Dreadhead Cowboy. Like, it's like, it's a lot of good that come from what I did. I done had a lot of my supporters actually draw pictures of me, and like, y'all know, they draw pictures of me and my y'all see it? You see? I got supporters. Y'all see Prince right there. Y'all see my cowboy head, my Jordan. Because people already know I always came out with Jordan the cowboy boots. So, there's a lot of people, like, I had a lot of people support what I'm doing. A lot of people support what I'm doing. A lot of inspiration. I have a lot of supporters. But for a lot of people that don't know, well, a lot of people do know. I want to say last month on the 2nd, I had took a stand. I had brought attention. I had brought awareness to a cause that really need the attention. 2020 is the highest year that kids have been getting killed in Chicago. In Chicago alone. 20 years. 2020 is the highest on the crime rate on kids. Understand, kids, y'all. I have kids. And it's no attention to it. Females been coming up missing. A lot of females have been getting kidnapped in the inner city, in the urban area. In my neighborhood, neighborhoods near us. And I'm tired of it. I feel like it's not getting the attention that it deserves. I feel like it ain't getting the attention that it needs. So I felt like it was time to take stand and bring attention to my cause. Kids' lives matter. I feel like kids' lives matter. It ain't been getting the attention that it deserves. So I decided to take stand. Me and one of my trustees, which is one of my horses that I named Nunu, that I love dearly, that I meant no harm at all to hurt. Could I have couldn't I have slowed down on how I was riding her? Yes, I did a little bit. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't do a little bit too much. I did a little bit too much. Did I hurt my horse? No, I did not hurt my horse. Was my horse tired? Yes, my horse was tired. Is my horse dying? No, my horse is not dying. I had brought attention to a cause that's needed. A lot of people wouldn't even know who I am today if they wouldn't know about that ride I did when I shut down the Dan Ryan. Kids Lives Matter, Dan Ryan shut down. A lot of people wouldn't even know who I am today. That was even the first Kids Lives Matter march I did. That was actually the third. But y'all didn't hear about them two. I had the kids, them other two, I had the kids out there marching in the neighborhoods, in the inner city, marching while they screamed Kids Lives Matter. But it didn't get no recognition at all. I barely got the police out there to escort me down. I had to pull out at least 3 of my horses out just to escort down the inner city. So I guess our kids' lives not important. So I rode my horse down the Dan Ryan, 35th to 95th, to bring attention to my cause, which I did do. A lot of people know about my cause now because of that. I really can't talk too much about my case, so I'm going to leave it at that. But since I did what I did, I didn't get hate mail. I moved from that address because I got hate mail. People took their time to type up a letter. 2 pages. They took their time to type up a letter. The Hollingsworth family. I find your treatment of Nunu disgusting and abusive. None of your group should have honor of owning a horse of any kind of animal. You evidently know very little about taking good care of or being responsible for care of treatment of a beautiful animal. I'm not going to read all this. I never said I was an expert at riding. I never said that. I'm willing to learn the proper way to ride a horse. I'm gonna reach out to a famous trainer to teach me the proper way to ride a horse. I don't mind learning. I know what I did was I didn't think anything that I did was anything to harm a horse, to harm my horse. I feel so obligated to bring attention to it because I have kids, and I don't want to wait until my kid is laid out in one of these streets to be out there screaming Kids Lives Matter. And I would hope that y'all wouldn't want to feel that way too. Wait till it hit home before y'all understand the feeling. Have y'all ever thought about how these mothers feel that they lost these kids? Have y'all took y'all time and thought about that? Have y'all thought about these girls that's not coming home, that these girls coming up missing, these bodies coming up missing all throughout Chicago and all over the world? Let's bring attention to that. My horse is good. My horse is not hurt. Stay following me, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Dreadhead Cowboy. I'm out.